Can you all hear me or see me? I went live and then I dropped my phone. That's what happened. I went live and I dropped my phone. Am I good to go? I have no clue. Am I on the right channel? I have no clue. I really don't know. Can you guys hear me? I dropped my phone and then I don't know if the microphone's working. Somebody let me know in the comments. We're doing this live. F it, we'll do it live. We'll see what's going on. Dropped my damn phone right when I went live. I hope I didn't break it. Ugh. But let me know if you guys can hear me, if it's decent. Born Mush. What's up, brother? You said first. Looking good, Bowers. Sound loud and clear. Okay, good. Appreciate that, man. It's kind of scary when you go live. And then all of a sudden, like right when you click the go live button, you drop your phone. You're afraid. It's the only phone I got. I was afraid I broke it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't break it. It's the only thing I got. So, yeah. Let me make sure everything is semi-decent. We're going to get into some weird topics today, man. I shouldn't be doing, I say this in every video. I shouldn't be doing it. But we're going to get into some topics that I want to talk about that are going to be a little bit controversial. And I've already been canceled because I ain't really working. I'm working on my life, my mental health, my physical health, my spiritual health. I'm doing a little bit, but I've already been canceled. So, like, who cares if I talk about some controversial topics and give some controversial opinions? I just made a video. What's up, Waver? I made a video about the Donald Trump stuff, from my opinion, and I don't like any of the presidents. You guys can watch that video. I'm not stumping for Trumpy, but, you know, just the legal avenue of it. But long story short, we're going to have a good live stream. Please hit that thumbs up, that like. Consider becoming a member of this channel. Hit the bell for notifications when and if I go live. Consider donating, supporting. I do have some merchandise available. I have some home items available. I'm going to be adding some Kobe Bryant shoes tomorrow to my merchandise store. If you guys feel like buying Kobe 2s from 2001, you know what? Maybe I'll even show it. Cleaned them up. What's up, Larry Jester? Good to see you, brother. Cleaned them up as best as possible. They seem to be worth a little bit of money to collectors. I probably only wore them like 5 or 6 times in general. But I cleaned them up, and I'm going to be selling them in my stores and maybe on Amazon, or do I even have an eBay account? I don't even know. But I'm going to be selling because I need some extra money. But life is good right now, and I have a lot of anxiety, and you guys know. How much am I selling for the Kobe's? I don't know. I was thinking 300, but I don't know if they're worth that much because they're used. They're in really good shape, man. They're in really good shape. And then they got like a different color here. Honestly, I don't know if they were originally white or if this is like for the Laker, like an orange color for the Lakers, or if it's discolorization. I'm not that good. But one thing about these Kobe shoes that I was thinking about when I was getting ready to sell them and clean them all up. See, I have both of them here. I don't have the box though. But if they were made in 2001 and they came out in December, whoops, let me be careful there. They came out in December, and they're like spaceman shoes, like NASA. Then I started thinking, why did they force them to come out in December, like before 2002? Why not did they just, because they wanted it for Christmas of 2001. But Kobe Bryant was a big movie fan, and one of his favorite movies was 2001, A Space Odyssey. So I started thinking, that's why he wanted the shoes to come out in Christmas, because, and in 2001, because in reference to that movie, 2001, A Space Odyssey. So that's just a theory that I made up in my head, and we're going to go through a few different theories today. So again, hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider donating. I could always use the support. I'm trying to build up some money to maybe buy a computer or a refurbished computer. I'm able to pay my bills for the next 2 or 3 months, which, and to have the apartment and stuff like that. But if I can get some extra cash somehow, I'm going to try to buy a refurbished computer that has more power to do editing and stuff like that. Also, I'd love to start trying to make money to buy a car. I don't know, man. I just want to get out of the house and I want to start driving, but I need to get on the bus first. All right, I'm done thinking about my life. That's what I do every day. I complain about my life and I think about all my problems and all my issues and trying to wake up every day and make a video. And this is called the Anxiety Files. That's what this video is called. It gives me a video hopefully once a week. I should be walking and talking around, but I just didn't feel like it today. I got a few things to do in the apartment. But yeah, this is the Anxiety Files, where I talk about things and we hang out for a little bit together. And I just wanted to announce the return of the Happy Alien podcast, I believe this Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I got a few guests lined up for the next couple of episodes. Then we might have some former guests on, and the show's gonna, come back. I hope it'll be every week, but again, you guys understand my schedule with life and what's going on. But for today's Anxiety Files, we're gonna touch on some topics because I watch YouTube videos and I see the latest topics, on the podcast and all that other stuff, and I have major opinions. But I don't have a show where I go live every day on those opinions. I technically don't, and I should have. But this gives me an opportunity to hang out with you amazing people and then give some opinions. But I know I have a diverse audience, whether it be politically or gender ideology or whatever. And I know that sometimes some of the stuff or the opinions I have are going to piss people the F off. That's not my intention. It's just from my point of view. And I always have a lot of fears about doing or saying my opinions. And I got to keep facing fears for my anxiety, for my bullshit. I have to not worry about if anybody gets mad at me, or whatever, because I just have to do it. Okay, this is what my therapist is telling me to do, put myself out there. And then, after I make videos or podcasts, I always freak out. What, did I say the wrong thing? Did I give up too much information? What did I do? I freak the F out. But I have to do this every week. I have to face fears every week. And you guys have noticed that on my channel. I'm trying to do that to better my head, my life, and trying to learn how to. It's not a big deal if people don't like you, if people unsubscribe, if people comment on your videos, or if people make critique videos about you or make you into a meme. I'm trying to get to a place where I'm like, it's okay. Instead of getting angry and mad and like wanting to confront the people or run away or get depressed and go under the covers, I'm facing these battles. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Like, I just released a video the other day where I kind of showed you guys an acting technique where we listen to music. Well, I should have learned the words. Normally in an acting class, I would have learned the entire song by memory, and then I would have sang it and performed it without the music. But since I just did it spur of the moment to face a fear, to sing on camera, and to have some emotions on camera, I put the headphones on and I listened to the actual music while I did it. But normally as an actor, we would have had to learn the entire song, all the lyrics, and then do it. But I faced the fear in doing that because I'm sure I look stupid or weird to a lot of people, or they laughed at me. But I faced the fear, so I'm proud of myself. All right, so what are we going to do on today's show? Bro, whatever your opinions are, they're fine. We can all disagree on stuff and still get along. Well, yeah, Christopher. That's a good name, too. I've been listening to a lot of Christopher Cross. Sailing, wakes me away, takes me away from where I want to. I think it's called Arthur's Theme. But I love music, man. I still want to do a jukebox night with you guys. Just listen to music. You guys can, if you're able to, super chat me a few bucks and I'll be your jukebox and we'll listen to music together. But I get worried about my channel. But I gotta face the fear. I get worried about copyright and all that other stuff, man. Because this is all I got and I can't lose it. Because if I play 25 or 30 songs in that night that are copywritten, they might one of them might take my channel down. You know, it's like so scary. So scary. Ride like the wind. Oh, yeah. Ride like the wind. Christopher Cross. All right. Let's get into a few topics today from my perspective. And if you want me to read your comment or opinion or whatever, I'll do my best. But again, if it's in a super chat, I will give it priority. And I'm not able to go back and look at all the comments at the end of today's anxiety files. But the first thing that I want to talk about, I wish I had the title here because I wrote what I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good times and the bad times that will be. Let's talk about sex. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, we're going to have a Happy Alien podcast on Thursday with a director of like some horror movies and other stuff like that from the wet movie world. His name is Jose Prendes. So look forward to that. Then we're going to have an after hours on my channel. And we're going to have some other guests. Some of you guys are members from the channel are going to be on the after hours. And we're going to have ourselves a good time. That's Thursday night. All right. So let's talk about racism and the WNBA. They go hand in hand in this case. Many of you guys might not follow it, might not care. Come back later if you don't want to listen. But Caitlin Clark is a superstar basketball player from college, and now she's playing for the Indiana Fever. She got so much press and coverage and everything in her college days. She broke all the records. Then she got drafted #1 overall to the Indiana Fever of the WNBA. And nowadays, the WNBA has started to be on the rise in terms of money, monetary value for the players and stuff like that. So for the people that didn't know, I just wanted to give you a little history. So Caitlin Clark came into the league, and then right during the playoffs in her college years, like 3 or 4 months ago when they were having their college playoffs, she seemed like they were getting into tussles and fights with a lot of players on the other teams in college. And now that has bled into the NBA or the WNBA. And long story short, she's like labeled as like the Michael Jordan or whatever for the WNBA, the greatest woman basketball player coming from college, breaking all the records. She got endorsement deals worth 30, 40, 50 million dollars, whatever the case may be. But the average salary for the WNBA is like $250,000. You know, so all of these women deserve or think they deserve more, which they do. And it would be nice that Caitlin Clark, this superstar, is in the league, and she's gonna, you know, a low tide rises all boats, or however they say. So she's come into the league, but now there's a lot of issues with that. People have jealousy, people have envy, people have disrespect for her for multiple reasons, whether she's a trash talker or in some cases, and I have to speculate, there's a damn racial divide that the world wants to covet and create even more so. So what happened is she's been getting fouled and hit, you know, in the WNBA, and Some of them are hard fouls, and are they truly warranted? No, not really. But there was one the other day, maybe on Saturday or Sunday, where I forget the name, another girl with the name Shishi, number 33, if they're Illuminati standards or Mason standards. Caitlin Clark is Shishi. Then there's another one named Caitlin Connor or something like that. She plays for another team. And then out of nowhere, you look back at the video, she runs up to Caitlin Clark, or she gets up and walks up to Caitlin Clark and says something to like, you, B-I-T-C-H, you bitch. And then she just pushes her. Then Caitlin Clark is known to be a flopper. You know, she wants to get the referee calls. But long story short, the girl, Caitlin Connor, whatever the names are, she literally did a foul. And it was egregious. And it wasn't within the confines of the game. Just out of nowhere, you walk up and say, you, B-I-T-C-H, boom. Then her teammates, which another girl is named Angel Reese, who is an opponent of Caitlin Clark in college, and they've had a lot of fights and tussles. Well, she's laughing and cheering the girl on that hit Caitlin Clark. Okay. Now, everybody wants to speculate, was it good? Was it bad? Did Caitlin Clark deserve it? Was it a good foul? Was it a basketball foul? Okay, let's get into it from my perspective. But racism has made its way into this issue. I don't like the term envy. I mean, I like the term envy better than racism. But the media and a lot of people are speculating, you know, it's because it's racism. It could be a lot of things. It could be envy, jealousy, hatred. Can't speculate. I don't know. But I'm just saying, they're not talking about the word race on the talk shows, you know, the sports talk shows and this and that. They're not talking about it. But you can see clearly that these players are envious of Caitlin Clark. And you have to think it is partially because she's the white savior for basketball. Okay? And they feel, and I'm speculating, but many of them feel that the WNBA has been around for many years, and why hasn't any black woman been coveted by the media and made like a superstar as they did with Caitlin Clark? Well, has there been in the past five years a black woman player that has gotten all the stats, and all the accolades? I mean, Caitlin Clark earned those in college, breaking all the records. And she's top of the league already in like assists and this and that. Was there any black player that did that much for their college, or black woman player? If there was one comparable to Caitlin Clark, they honestly deserved to have been propped up in the media. But let's be honest, we know how the media works. You know, they want to create, out of nothing. And sometimes it might be for a person of, the white color. And then so that would make the black women NBA players upset. And I understand where they're coming from, but they shouldn't think that way. It's the wrong way of thinking. Humility and humbleness is the best thing in life. And now Caitlin Clark, whether white or black or whatever, she's the new Messiah. That's fine. Because guess what? In 5 years, the WNBA is going to have millions of more dollars. More eyes are going to the games right now and supporting it. And it's a good thing. But people have to have envy and jealousy and hatred. Now, we can say that that's what these other people are doing. But I also want to take it from the standpoint of marketing. The girl that elbowed Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, her teammate, the one that's cheering it all on, Angel Reese made a press conference while she was in college saying she doesn't mind being the villain in this story, because if you have a savior, there's always going to be a villain. And the WNBA needs stories. The WNBA needs stories in order to make the actual brand bigger and better. So I don't know if this is a conspiracy, but all of the stuff that's happening around Caitlin Clark is going in some areas to racism, in other areas to jealousy and envy. But it's a storyline. It's like the WWE. And there are interviews with Angel Reese and some of the other players that they don't mind being the villain because they will be remembered. They will get press coverage. Now, every time that player plays against Caitlin Clark or other teammates, they're going to get people watch her. And they're going to be in all the articles and all the magazines. And they're going to make money even by being the villain. So the narrative has went from the mainstream media into a racial divide. And I'm sad for that. Everything has to revolve around race, and I'm getting pissed off about it. Stop talking about it. And stop dividing America. It's ridiculous. But the players are feeding into it, and they're trying to create storylines, and it's good for everybody, but it can make players look petty and evil to the bigger world. Now, if the story was reversed, let's be honest, if a white player out of nowhere ran up to Caitlin Clark, if she was black, and said, "You bitch," boom. Well, then that white player would have been called a white supremacist, a racist, a this and a that. But the mainstream media, they're not saying that about the player versus Caitlin Clark. But I'm glad. But I wish they wouldn't even bring it to a racial standpoint. So I'm kind of fed up. And I'm just tired of it. And, yeah. But that's the story of the WNBA and Caitlin Clark from my perspective. I think it's a storyline. The WNBA wants all of this to happen because now all eyes on me, live my life as a thug until the day I die. Now all eyes are on the WNBA. But here's the sad part about it, is now a black person, a woman of talent, and a lot of the black players, in the league, they're now going to be bullied and they have to take on the role of a villain, or they're going to be called racist, or it was racially motivated, or whatever the case may be. But it's just kind of bad and sad when you look at it. Now, the last thing I'm going to result with is Caitlin Clark, when she, went down from the elbow. I got to be honest, I'm a football fan. Where was her teammates? The league needs to protect Caitlin Clark. She's making them a bunch of money. The league doesn't need to baby Caitlin Clark, but they need to protect her from egregious fouls and hits like that from the villains that they want to be the villains. They don't need to baby her. She needs to, make her name in the league, taking the hard hits. But the hard hits have to be within the game of basketball. That one in particular was not in the game of basketball, and it was not good, and it was a bad hit. It was illegal. It was literally just disgusting. But Caitlin Clark, she knows she's going to get it. She's going to have to prove her way in the league, and then everybody, it just seems like everybody's coming after her. And then Pat McAfee even said it good on his show, but the mainstream narrative has took Pat McAfee's words wrong. Pat McAfee was talking about, it's like old school NFL. You got to treat the rookies one way. You got to make them prove themselves. You're going to go after them. And then Pat McAfee said it's because she's a white bitch in the league. And then the media took it as that was a racist term, that Pat McAfee was calling her a white bitch. Because Caitlin Clark is known to be a trash talker, maybe a bitch. But Pat McAfee was calling her a white bitch. basically promoting racism from the other players, saying, to all the other players in the league, she's the white bitch, and you got to get the white bitch. So, but it's just being hijacked in all areas of the forum. But where was Caitlin Clark's players on her team defending her? Having a brawl, like immediately running up and seeing it coming off the sidelines, telling the other team, "What? Don't hit her. That's our girl. That's our girl." It didn't happen. I'm from the old school NFL. If a quarterback gets hit, white or black or whatever, the entire team or the offensive line protects that quarterback and starts a brawl on the field out of respect for their quarterback when they get an illegal hit. That was sad to see. So to be quite honest with you, even though everybody wants to be the villain on Caitlin Clark, she's actually becoming the villain to the rest of the league. Even her players on her team are not defending her and fighting and getting her back. That means they're jealous as well, and they're envious as well, or they're possibly racist as well. Pretty damn sad, y'all. Hey, but it's a good story. It's like WWE. I'm going to keep watching. All right, let's move on. Now, let's talk about terms of racism as well. I think it's called gender ideology. Let's talk about pride. All right. And forgive the words I'm about to say. I'm pretty uneducated on a lot of things. Mandy, my good friend, is online. She'll agree. But I just wanted to speak about, the word pride. And how do I do this correctly? I don't know. In recent years, Pride Month has become a mainstream media talking point. We've seen multiple videos of pride parades, people against the pride parade, this and that, on various factions, claiming children are there, this and that, and vice versa. And the sexualization in the parade shouldn't be around kids. And I've seen those videos, and I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, if you're going to celebrate pride in whatever that faction is, why does it have to be in a sexual manner? So as an adult, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's cool that you have pride in your sexuality, but do you really got to bring sexual toys? Do you really got to wear thongs and BDSM gear in a parade and walk down the street and twerk and show boobies and penises? And do you really have to do that? No, that's disgusting and wrong. And, it's looked at as PDF files to a lot of different people. And it hijacks, the LGBTQ community. I call them the alphabet people. I don't honestly mean it out of disrespect. There's just so many damn letters, I don't know. But it's just interesting. And then I was watching a video from Jordan Peterson about pride. And he's like, pride shouldn't exist. And it's wrong and it's bad. And I was like, I got to hear this. And to basically summarize what Jordan Peterson said in this video, he said that pride is within the sexuality. That's what they're representing. They're representing not pride in America, not pride in their car, not pride in their whatever else you can think of. They're celebrating pride for their sexual nature. Because for underrepresenting, the LGBTQ community. But it's of every one of those pride things, if you look at it in its core, it's celebrating the sexual nature of their body. I like men, I like women, I like men and women, I like aliens, I like dogs, whatever. I have pride. So you think about it, like they're literally turning themselves as a human being into a sexual orientation, and that's all they are. I'm a proud gay person. Well, again, gay means you like men. So that becomes your entire identity. You get it? And that's what you're celebrating in that month. It's sexual identity. That, in my mind, seems wrong. I want to celebrate pride that I'm alive. I want to celebrate pride, that I love everybody. I don't want to just celebrate pride because I like boobies. I don't want to celebrate pride because I like anything else or I have a fetish. It's just a weird concept for some people to get around. But that Jordan Peterson interview really did a lot to me. And he's like, just don't do it. Like have pride within yourself. You don't need to make it public. If you're a proud, gay person or whatever, or an LGBTQ plus IA double G. Sorry, I'm not trying to make a joke. It just gets really confusing in my head. But they're like, you don't need a parade for that. You have to find pride within yourself. Then at every opportunity where that's questioned and you don't like it, then you can man up and be like, yeah, I'm a proud gay person. That's it. This is what I like. This is who I am. But you don't want to be broken down to your sexual nature. And then, like I said, when they do the pride parades, some of them have the good intentions. But then there's the people that do, like I said, all the sexual toys and the this and the that in front of children, or the innuendos. And it's not right. So pride is just a weird thing for me right now to think about. And I wish they had pride in everything else in life. I mean, let's be honest. So they're allowed to have pride parades of, Black Lives Matter, with the term black in it. I mean, the word Black Lives Matter, let's think about it from its concept. I understand the term Black Lives Matter. I get it. I love it. I respect it. But they created a company where they basically became racist with the first word. Let's separate everybody and call it Black Lives Matter. That's not how you end racism, by continuing it. It's not how you do it. So they had the marches, the pride parades for Black Lives Matter. They have the pride parades where they're basically showing pride in their sexual nature. Now if a bunch of white people got together and called it a white pride parade, you see where I'm going? It's automatically racist. They are white supremacist because they use the word white lives matter or white pride parade or whatever the words are. That's a no-go in this world. But that is the racial divide that we're living under. And it's pretty effing sad. In the 90s, we were having better racial cultures and like relationships in the 90s into the 2000s. So something went wrong. Something went awry. There is an agenda there for gender ideology, everything. Some call it the gay agenda, the racism divide. Just sad to see. Just sad to see. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And they should abolish all pride, everything. And I'm not only talking about the alphabet. Sorry, I should be more respectful. I'm trying my best. The LGBTQ community and all that. Again, I don't care what you do, what you like, as long as you don't bother me or, whatever, come after my kids or whatever. Do what you want. I'm actually a very understanding human being. But they should get rid of all the, but you know what? I'm a freedom of speech advocate. So it's like, how could I say they should get rid of all the parades or whatever? Yeah, I can't do that. It doesn't make no sense to me. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about that. It was just fascinating to find out that, when I watched Jordan B. Peterson talk about Pride and the month, how he broke it down to sexual identity. And I never thought of it that way. I was like, wow, that's really, really interesting. That basically they've been just pride in the sexual identity, you know. And I hope it would be pride for everything. Proud to be an American, you know, pride to live in your community, pride to be a great mother, a father, whether you're gay, transgender, or whatever the case is. You get it, pride in all of those things. But they do get hijacked, you know, by the extreme people. So I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. It's just really, really interesting and scary. And the Pride community, whenever they see the people that are doing the negative fetishes or the sexual whatever stuff, they should like literally right then and there remove those people and be like, this is not what we're about. You know what? This is only going to make everybody else hate us with conservative values. This is going to make everybody else, this is wrong. The actual Pride people should do that. You know, like they should do that. Same thing with the Black Lives Matter, the whatever, you know, with the bad people. You just got to get rid of them. Stop hijacking the movement. Just stop it. But hey, I can't control anything. I'm watching everything from the sidelines, but I do have my opinions. Now let's talk about one of my favorite guys, Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones. Like, he's one of the dudes that I would listen to back in the days. And whether I believed everything or not, I just like that dude. He's one of the people with the voices for people like me that wanted to wake up and realize an alternate reality. You know, he's one of those people that made me just want to wake up and realize an alternate reality. And for many of you guys that don't know, he's been through the ringer. And just recently he broke down because they are basically taking his channel, his station, his wealth, you know, losing his family. He's losing everything for words. Let that sink in. For words. During the Sandy Hook stuff, you know, there was a lot of information coming out to a lot of conspiracy circles. I was watching and getting all this stuff real time because that's the world I live in. And there was a lot of evidence that allegedly none of the children passed away, or it might have been a false flag event, or it might have been manipulated or whatever. Allegedly. But Alex Jones, you know, during all this time, he started saying none of the children died, blah, blah, blah. Well, then the community, because the community, whenever you do a video or whatever, your followers, your community normally believe the same thing you do. So they went after the families. They started, you know, bullying the families and this and that. And that's not right. I get it. I've seen it happen. It happens by people against me that make videos against me. You know, they start to harass or bully me or whatever. But it's not right. But 10 years later, whatever the case is, then he gets sued for 1.5 or I think it was like $81 billion or something like that. Like, come on. Like literally $81 billion. Well, we're proving a point. Then they put him in a courtroom where the judges were pre-planned. They were placed in there. Basically, it was another fraud trial, and we're seeing a lot of fraud trials lately. We're seeing a lot of them, okay? But that was the stepping stone to scare all conspiracy theorists from anybody saying their opinions in videos, online, that they can be sued for defamation, okay? That is what the Alex Jones trial was for. They deplatformed him years earlier, and I thought that was wrong. You know, oh, misinformation, get him off YouTube, deplatform him. Then the Sandy Hook stuff, you know, the courtroom with that, and now they're trying to scare conspiracy theorists and basically people with altering opinions from speaking because, oh, we're gonna get canceled. We're gonna get lawsuits, for $81 billion. And long story short, they settled for $1.1 billion or whatever the case is. Still ridiculous number. Oh, but Alex Jones is worth that amount of money. I don't care. It's wrong, and it's for words. He never did anything physical. He never did anything like that. It's just words. Maybe his followers harassed people, but it's like you can't control what other people do, And then that went along the lines of the insurrection where Donald Trump created a mob, from his words. And then, they got that whole trial. But the world is changing. They're silencing people. They're showing them they'll get sued. They want to shut everybody up. They don't want people thinking anymore. And it's working. Okay, the justice system is changing. They don't want people thinking anymore, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But Alex Jones was allowed to keep his show and earn a little bit of income. And he created a company, and then he had to start paying the bills to the families, the $1.1 billion that he lost. So he had to start paying that a couple of months ago. And it's an outrageous amount that honestly nobody has. And I think it was $5 million a month to like 2 or 3 families or something like that. $5 million a month. And even if his channel makes $30 million a month, which I don't know if that's fact, he's still losing, $20, $25 million a month paying families. And then he's still got operating costs and blah, blah, blah. But they allowed him to keep his show, right? So he's like, all right, as long as I got my show, the only thing I know, let's continue. And then I'll try to pay people the best as I can. Well, he hasn't been able to keep up the payments. So he created a company to try to hold some of his assets in there, just in case they come down completely over him, where he at least has something and he has his show. And he can save money for operating costs and, to pay his bills in a home or whatever the case may be. But now the FBI and the CIA and all these other people, and now more lawsuits have been brought in because they're not getting the official amount from him, the $5.5 million to like 5 different families, each one of them $5 million a month or whatever the case may be. And they're not getting all the money because he doesn't have it. But now the FBI is like, oh, he's got it in a shell company. He created a shell company. He's doing fraud. So now they're looking into him. And they basically, about a week ago on Thursday or Friday, maybe a month ago, he got the knowledge that like the FBI is coming after him and they're possibly going to take his show. He made a video where he said, it's all over, guys. It's all over. It's happening. It's happening. And people didn't know what he was referencing. But now we do. So I think it was on Friday or something like that. He did a live stream on his show and he goes, we may be gone within 48 hours. I don't know what's really going on, but they're coming after me. And of course, he solicited donations. Because let's be honest, even if he does have a shell company to try to earn some income, he's gonna shell for money, or he's gonna try to make whatever money he can before they officially close him. Just like Donald Trump got like $200 million in donations after that fraud trial. Alex Jones is trying to, hey, let me get some too, man. Because if they take everything, at least I have $1 million or something to live the rest of my life off if they take everything. But again, they're coming after him. So he broke down on a live stream. And, he was crying. And now he's a meme all over the internet. Oh, he deserves that. That's as much pain as he deserves because of what he said about the Sandy Hook kids and the this and the that. And I'm like, nobody has empathy anymore. Everybody wants to destroy everybody else the minute they say or do one wrong thing. It is just a vicious cycle. This world is full of evil, and I'm freaking tired of it. Again, I am not the Messiah. I can't show love to everybody. I can't show empathy and respect. But I have major empathy for Alex Jones. That dude has been entertaining us for years and speaking the truth on many occasions. And if those claims about the kids are actually false, I still have things where I'm like, I don't know. But I need to talk about that in conspiracy circles on other channels. I don't want to be deplatformed or whatever. I don't even have a big enough audience to do that. But still, I empathize with him and I felt for him when he broke down. He's just taking it through the ringer. And I can empathize with him. And I empathize with the families as well from the harassment they got. They don't deserve it. But again, if the children allegedly did not die, maybe they are evil people and they're doing a false flag event or an agenda. And maybe they do deserve harassment, allegedly. Again, I live in the conspiracy circles, but I wouldn't go out of my way to contact anybody that I think is lying or doing fraud or a crisis actor. I'm not going to go out of my way. But I like making videos and showing my common sense on that situation. I like being a critical thinker, and too many people are not critical thinkers nowadays. So, but yeah, man, I feel for Alex Jones, and I hope he earns some money from his actual followers. But they gave him a 2-week deadline. He thought he was going to lose his show. They thought he was going to lose his show maybe any day this week, but now they gave him till June 14th. So he's got a couple of weeks to get his affairs in order or whatever the case, but they're probably officially going to take his show. And it just makes me sad because he's one of the people that like spoke truth to me and I enjoyed watching. They're turning the frogs gay. Well, they were. You know, there's many research that they were doing that. They put chemicals in the water to see if they can turn a species that can never be gay, if they could actually turn a species that will never ever have a gay gene or whatever's in their soul. I don't know what it is. But they were trying to experiment and turn frogs to see if they can turn them gay. And they succeeded with chemicals in the water and stuff like that. And then some of those chemicals, allegedly, are in our water systems. So allegedly, the chemicals that turn frogs gay are in some of our water outlets. And now we have a lot more people turning, I don't know, you do the math. Is it a conspiracy? I don't know. We'll leave it at that. Now, I spoke about Donald Trump yesterday or the other day where I gave my opinion on the trial. Now, I'm going to throw out a theory about Donald Trump that maybe all of this is being done purposely. The trial, the conviction, the this, the that it's all being done purposely. Because, again, I live in conspiracy circles. And the interesting thing about this is, and again, I believe in numerology and I like some of that stuff. And they're going to sentence him on, well, what is it? 7/11. On July 11. Okay, well, that's 4 days before his convention for the Republican convention or whatever. And that's weird timing. They're definitely trying to not get him in the trial. But think of 7/11. Think of 9/11, one of the dates that lives in infamy of a possible conspiracy circle. So if he's convicted, that would be a good date if they want to have protesters in the streets for Donald Trump. They can cause riots or whatever the media wants to happen. That would be a good date to say. All the riots, January 6th, 7/11, the Donald Trump court riots. You get it? It's that numerology that freaks me out. 7 times 11 is 77. How old is Donald Trump? Donald Trump is actually 77. 77 is also a Masonic number and numerology and stuff like that. And it's just, the numerology is just crazy. And let's be honest, The Simpsons had Donald Trump becoming a president. The Simpsons, Family Guy, and all these things many years prior when he never announced it. And then he had a show called The Apprentice. Think about that, The Apprentice. Some people are calling him the Antichrist. Whatever the case may be, it's just really fascinating as a conspiracy theorist to try to put puzzle pieces together. It doesn't mean they're real, but it's just really, really interesting and fascinating. And there's a lot of stories about the Trump family, about Barron Trump being, born and all that to be the next Antichrist or the this or the that. Those are really, really deep stories. But I just quickly wanted to say a theory that I had back in 2016 when Donald Trump was becoming president was his running mate for vice president was Donald Pence. So think of the name together, Trump, Pence, Trump, Pence. Then I was, into the Bible and the book of Revelations and the rapture and all that other stuff around that time as well. And the story of the rapture is, and I may get a few things wrong, so forgive me, but typically there's going to be 8 horns when Jesus is basically taking his believers through the sky, back to him. And then the ones that don't believe are going to stay on earth. And there's going to be 8 trumpets of noises around the world. And I started thinking of the name trumpets in the Bible, 8 trumpets. And then our president could have been president possibly for 8 years. It might have been 7 trumpets. Not quite sure. I might be wrong on that, but it still works. So 8 trumpets for 8 years as president with Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Trump, Pence. 8 years presidency. Trump, Pence. Okay? Well, it didn't work. So maybe we've only heard 4 Trump, Pence. You get it? In that way. Because he was only president for 4 years. Now we got Biden right now for another 4 years, bringing the world to a boil, whatever the case may be. But think of his name in another fashion like that, Biden. Bid, B-I-D-E-N, bid an end to the world. So we had our 4 trumpets. Now we're getting a message that we're bidding an end to the world. Then maybe we get Donald Trump again with another vice president with a name that might mean something different. Like Ramaswamy, I believe in that culture. I think I heard it somewhere. Ramaswamy means the end of all things, or like an ending. So if Donald Trump picked Ramaswamy, that could go in line with the stuff that I just mentioned. Trumpets, bid an end to the world, and, the end of all things. Again, these are just theories, speculation, may not be true, but it's fun for me and my overthinking brain. It's really fun for me. I like this sort of stuff. And I wish I could write movies and stuff like that and, come up with amazing concepts. It would be pretty damn cool, man. Pretty damn cool. But, yeah, so that's my Donald Trump stuff. This might have all been orchestrated by the aliens that run the world, the elite that run the world. It has all been set in stone. This is exactly the way it's supposed to happen. And then, some people are like, why is Donald Trump becoming the Messiah? Well, again, you have to prop up a Messiah or somebody falsely like that. Then they take over the world. If you want to go back to Hitler and stuff like that, again, everybody loves him. They want change. And I'm not comparing Trump to Hitler, but if this is the same storyline just 100 years later, pretty interesting. And again, I don't like any presidents. I think they're all evil. They all commit war crimes against the people. All politicians are evil. They need to get rid of money from the government. I mean, you have to earn money to become the president. You got to earn millions and millions of dollars. And then they don't want you to shill for companies. Come on. But here's the interesting fact about that statement that I just made. The actual public is now paying Donald Trump to try to make him president. You get it? It's not really from companies and corporations per capitalism. Donald Trump, literally, because of the courtroom stuff, how most of the people see it as a fraud or a scam, now the actual people are putting money into the system to anoint Donald Trump. So if he is the Antichrist or the beginning of the end, the people paid for it, wanted it, and they win. The evil spirits or whatever of the world. I don't know. Hey, what's the topic of this video? Is there anything that I'm missing that I was going to talk about, guys? What's the topic of the video? I think I wrote it in the title. Is there something that I'm missing? I didn't want to be on too long. I got a few other things to do. But I did receive a plant from a friend of mine. They sent me a, you can't see it, it's over here in the background, but they sent me, maybe I'll pull it. They sent me a water, it's called a peace lily. They sent me a beautiful peace lily. Larry Jester, hey, you became a member you are a member for 3 months. What if Biden means bidding as a bidding to the end? But they bought me a peace lily and sent it to me, for like peace in my heart. And it gives me something to take care of and love and makes my air fresher in my little studio apartment. And it was a very, very beautiful gift. That's weed, buddy. Yeah, it's not. I don't like weed. I'm not really into that stuff. It's called the peace lily. Wouldn't that be funny if it was weed? Oh, I hit everything on the title? I hope so. But could you imagine the company that sent it from Miami if it was weed? So they're sending weed illegally across lines. You know what I mean? But it's a peace lily, and it's a beautiful little gift. I just hope I don't kill it because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think it only needs low light. So that's one good thing because my apartment has low light. And I can open up the windows, and it doesn't need a lot of water. But I know it will get bigger, like 1 to 4 feet. So if I have to remove it from the apartment, there's an area downstairs where I can put, like some plants or something. So I might have to do that. But what a thoughtful gift, to help me out of my depression and send me something to, calm my nature, peaceful, and just amazing. And I thank you so much for, sending me a special gift and being my friend. You know who you are. I don't like saying names anymore because, people get weird about it. My God, I have to blow my nose. What's going on? Let me blow my nose real quick, guys. Guys, in my back, I think my audio went off. In my back in the New York groove, maybe I need to. You guys are saying you can hear me, but I don't see the Sorry, everybody. It looked like the light on my microphone. All right, guys, I don't know what's going on, man. Let me just end the live stream right now. Maybe the batteries are dead on the microphone. I love you guys. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Look for the Happy Alien podcast on. Look for the Happy